version in Disneyland because it's a lot longer. In Walt Disney World, unfortunately, they didn't intend to build a Pirates of the Caribbean because they figured people in Florida wouldn't be interested in that. People in Florida said, no, we want one. So they were halfway through building something that Tony Baxter had designed and switched gears. So you got like a shortened version of Pirates of the Caribbean. But it's a really great fun. And this is everybody's favorite smell, apparently, is the musty smell inside there with all the moisture. But
I have a candle with that scent.
Funny, I was just going to say if I could get a candle with that scent, I would buy it. So
I will send you the link to that.
I was going to say, so when I send you that, you can send me the other one. This is advantageous here. This is where in the background you're playing Fortuosity, I think.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think I have a copy of that song, so I'll make sure I'll try to stick it in here somewhere.
Yeah, don't. It'll be irritating.
Oh, but see, that's what we do in Neverland. We bring everything together. So anybody have like a favorite memory from writing Pirates of the Caribbean, like the first time you wrote it?
You know what? My favorite memory is not the first time I wrote it, but the first time that my daughters wrote it. Because they were, well, especially my older daughter, she was very scared of those types of things, and kind of freaked her out a little bit and didn't really know what to expect and knew about it, because we'd done lots of preparation and tell her where we're going and showed her all that stuff. But after writing it, it has become by far her favorite ride. And she goes on it multiple times every time we're in both parks.
Yeah, I love I think you get better, the more of the story in Disneyland originally, where you get to see what's the remainder of the pirates, of what has happened to them, and you get warned that dead men tell no tales, and you now know the location of the treasure and beware of the curse of it. Then you kind of go back in time, you see where these pirates had raided this town, gotten the treasure, but then turned on each other, and the real curse of the treasure is their own greed, and in a lot of ways, this was making fun of pirates, and you're having fun kind of going on an adventure, but you're kind of getting a mockery of pirates and how they just ended up, because like we see at the beginning how they ended up, they just killed each other for the love of the money and the treasure. So, but I love that story. The thing is, and by the time I wrote it in Walt Disney World, they had already added Jack Sparrow in, and so the story had been completely changed. But it feels a little disjointed in Walt Disney World because it's like a shortened version. The audio I've heard on Window to the Magic, it makes a lot more sense even with the Jack Sparrow style story.
Yeah, my favorite story for Pirates of the Caribbean doesn't revolve around a first time or anything like that, but being involved with the parks as much as I am, I know a lot of cast members. And one of the things that happens occasionally, or used to, is they have after hours events to benefit charity. Mm-hmm. And one year I was invited to attend something called the Pirates 5K. And as much as you would like to think that we got to run through the ride, we did not. What they did was they know how long the ride is, how many feet the ride is. And we went in, and when we entered the ride the first time, they gave us a punch card. We got onto the ride and we rode around, and when we came back to the load area, they punched the card once. Then we just continued on and went back into the ride again. When we came back around, second punch. And we continued to ride until we had ridden the equivalent of 3.1 miles or 5K. Mm-hmm. At which point we got to get off of the ride. We were given a pirate coin and some other little trinket. And then we went out into New Orleans Square, where they had food and music and things like that for us to enjoy.
And everybody was a little punch drunk from having been punched every time they came around.
Yeah, that, yes. But we were definitely happy to get off of Pirates of the Caribbean after, I think it was 9 rides in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, something like that. 6 rides, 9 rides, whatever it is. But it was definitely... I didn't ride Pirates for a while after that. I was just happy that I had missed It's a Small World 5K.
Oh, wow. That song would not leave you for days if you did something like that. My gosh.
Exactly.
Nightmares. Was it you or I think maybe it was Ricky Bergani that they did something similar, I think, in Florida, I guess it was. I think Ricky ran into Bob Iger actually in line. Or was that you?
No, that wasn't me. I didn't run into Bob Iger. We did run into the president of Disneyland, who was in the jail cell with the animatronics. That might be what you were thinking, but
might be.
Yeah, because I did share the Pirate 5K, or at least part of it, on the show. So,
yeah, I think I do remember that. That was probably what I'm thinking of. I don't know. Somebody's going to have to go back through the inside the Magic Archives, because I'm pretty sure that they did it in Walt Disney World as well, and Ricky had participated. I remember him saying something about Bob Iger. I don't know. Okay, so I'm trying to think if there's anything in Adventureland. Yeah, because on my way around it, the next thing we do is Frontierland. Now in Disneyland, though, Adventureland, is that right next to New Orleans, or does that go straight into Frontierland?
Well, so they're kind of next to each other. Adventureland, a row of buildings facing the other direction, and then Frontierland is over there. But our New Orleans Square is after Adventureland, and New Orleans Square is actually not done at Disneyland if you haven't done the Haunted Mansion.
That's true.
Yep.
The original Haunted Mansion, because it comes up a completely different location in Walt Disney World.
Right.
So, I very much look forward to seeing the Disneyland version, because especially now that the Hatbox Ghost is in there.
Yes, it's very cool.
Yes.
Very cool.
Oh, I'm so excited. Because, my history with the Haunted Mansion, because that is my favorite. But I'm actually became a favorite of it because, let's see, I guess it was while I was still dating and tapes were still a thing. I went into a Disney store we had at a local mall before this mall was torn down. And I found a tape of the Ron Howard One Night in the Haunted Mansion story. And I listened to that thing constantly. And then when I started finding some information about the actual attraction and realizing that it was almost a story of going through the attraction, I was like super excited to actually get on it and see it all for myself. But I've been a fan ever since I had that story. Although, finding out that the Hatbox Ghost, although he's pretty prominent in the story, wasn't actually in the Walt Disney World ride, was a little sad. But it was really cool.
A little bit of fun trivia. The voice of the ghost host on that story of the Haunted Mansion, you know who it is?
Peter Renaday. That's
right. The same guy who voices Henry in the Country Bears.
Yes, and he's so spooky. And I'm surprised I didn't recognize his voice because, I grew up with him as Splinter on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So you'd think I would have been like, oh my gosh, it's Splinter, but scary.
Exactly.
I still need to get him on the show. I've talked about it's like, oh man, I got to talk to that guy. I still haven't done that. Okay, to-do list. So, do you remember your first time riding, either of you?
No. The first time riding the Haunted Mansion, that was that high school trip that I went on when we sang with the choir. And I went with my girlfriend, so I remember that one.
Did you pay attention to the ride, or were you paying attention to the girlfriend?
I paid attention to the ride. I will admit.
Now, did either of you ever get to see where they had a live person in that one suit of armor to lean out?
Absolutely. No. Yep. They used to do that all the time at Disneyland, especially during Halloween and the extra parties that they would have. They would have live people in the mansion, and it was quite disheartening to go through, and that it's just a series of doors in that hallway, and you are going backwards, and all of a sudden, boo. And oh yeah, be still my heart.
And I heard one of the reasons why they don't do that all the time is somebody actually punched somebody. Do you think that
would not surprise me at all?